Chief Scientist Elena Zhao stood before the massive holographic display at the heart of the Titan research station, her dark eyes fixed on an anomaly that shouldn't exist. The quantum detection array she designed to search for signs of faster-than-light travel had been silent for 3 years. Today, it was screaming. "Analysis complete, Doctor," announced the station's eye. "The signal matches no known natural phenomenon. Energy signature suggests artificial manipulation of quantum fields at a scale we've only theorized possible." Elena's fingers danced across the holographic interface, expanding the visualization. The anomaly had appeared just beyond Neptune's orbit, a tear in the fabric of space-time that pulsed with impossible energies. As she watched, something emerged. "Multiple contacts detected," the AI reported. 3 vessels, approximately 2 kilometers in length each. Hull composition unknown. Design architecture suggests biological integration with technological components. Elena activated the station's quantum encryption protocols before sending a priority alert to Earth Defense Command. Humanity had prepared for this moment ever since the discovery of the ancient ruins on Mars revealed we weren't alone in the universe. Those ruins had accelerated human technological development by centuries, but they'd also carried a warning. Something waited out there in the dark between the stars. The alien vessels moved with precise coordination, their organic-looking hulls shifting and rippling like liquid metal under Saturn's distant light. They made no attempt to hide their approach, broadcasting on multiple frequencies in patterns that suggested communication attempts. "Doctor," the AI interrupted, "I'm detecting quantum entanglement signatures similar to our own experimental communication systems. They're trying to establish a direct quantum link." Elena straightened her uniform, a subtle smile playing at the corners of her mouth. Most of humanity's leadership had expected first contact to come from one of the younger spacefaring races. Instead, they'd drawn the attention of someone far more advanced. "Accept the quantum link," she commanded. "But maintain protocol alpha containment. Nothing gets through except validated communication packets." The holographic display shifted, resolving into an image that made Elena catch her breath. The alien that appeared before her was beautiful in an otherworldly way, its crystalline body structure refracting light in complex patterns that seemed to carry meaning beyond mere illumination. "Greetings, children of Earth," the alien's thoughts translated directly into comprehensible language through the quantum link. "I am first speaker Luminara of the Concordiate. We come with urgent purpose." "Welcome to the Sol system, first speaker," Elena responded, her diplomatic training kicking in. "I am Chief Scientist Elena Zhao of the Titan Research Station. We've been expecting contact, though perhaps not quite so dramatically." The crystalline being's light patterns shifted to what Elena interpreted as surprise. "You anticipated our arrival." "We anticipated someone's arrival," Elena corrected. The ruins on Mars were quite explicit about the existence of advanced civilizations, though they were less clear about which ones we should welcome and which we should fear. There was a pause, the alien's crystalline structure pulsing with rapid color changes. "The Mars ruins," Luminara finally responded. "You've accessed their database." "Accessed, decoded, and implemented," Elena confirmed, allowing a note of pride to enter her voice. "The quantum detection array that spotted your arrival was built using principles we learned there, along with other advances. This is unprecedented." Luminara's thoughts carried a mix of concern and fascination. "Your species has progressed far more rapidly than our models predicted. The ruins you speak of were left as a test, a way to evaluate developing civilizations. None have ever decoded and implemented their knowledge so quickly." Elena's smile widened slightly. "Humanity has a particular talent for solving puzzles, first speaker. Especially when those puzzles might help us survive whatever threats await us among the stars. Speaking of which, you mentioned an urgent purpose." The alien's crystalline form darkened noticeably. "Yes, we detected your quantum experiments from across the galaxy. Such technology acts as a beacon to others. We came to warn you, to help you hide your advancement before it draws their attention." I appreciate the warning, Elena responded, her finger hovering over a hidden control panel. But I should mention that we're tracking 12 more quantum signatures approaching from the direction you came from. I don't suppose those are friends of yours. The first speaker's form froze, colors draining to a pale blue. Impossible. They couldn't have detected you so quickly unless... The alien's thoughts trailed off as new holographic displays sprang to life around Elena, showing the Sol system's full defensive capabilities coming online. Automated defense platforms emerged from hiding, their quantum shields shimming into visibility. Massive carrier ships dropped their stealth fields in high orbit around Jupiter and Saturn, launching swarms of autonomous fighters. And throughout the asteroid belt, thousands of mining facilities transformed into weapon platforms, their industrial lasers repurposing from cutting rock to targeting hostiles. Unless we were already prepared. Elena finished the alien's thought. The Mars ruins weren't just explicit about the existence of advanced civilizations. First speaker, they were explicit about the threats we'd face. We've spent the last decade getting ready. You used our test as a warning system. Luminara's thoughts carried something like awe. No species has ever. Like I said, Elena interrupted, her expression now completely serious. Humanity has a particular talent for solving puzzles. Now, shall we discuss how to deal with our uninvited guests together? Because I suspect they're about to learn that humanity doesn't appreciate uninvited invasions of our space. The display showed Earth's defense fleet taking position, their quantum drives charging as the unknown contacts approached. Humanity's first real test against the dangers of the galaxy was about to begin, and Elena Zhou intended to show these new allies exactly why underestimating humans was always a mistake. Admiral Sarah Chen watched from the bridge of the EDS Prometheus as the approaching hostile fleet dropped out of quantum space. Their ships were enormous, shadowy constructs that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. Initial scans confirmed her worst fears. They were harvesters, exactly as the Mars ruins had warned. First speaker, she addressed the crystalline being now stationed beside her tactical display. I believe these are the threats you came to warn us about. Luminara's crystalline form pulsed with dark colors. The Devourers. They shouldn't be here so soon. Their sensor range shouldn't extend this far. Unless they've been watching this sector already. Sarah finished. We suspected as much. That's why we developed our quantum technology in secret, hidden beneath layers of stealth fields. What you detected wasn't a leak, it was a lure. The alien's form sparkled with what Sarah had learned to recognize as surprise. Around them, Earth's defense fleet continued to emerge from stealth, revealing layer after layer of military might that humanity had built in preparation for this moment. Impossible, Luminara whispered through the quantum link. Your industrial capacity couldn't possibly support this level of military development. The energy requirements alone. Sarah allowed herself a slight smile. The Mars ruins mentioned something about zero-point energy extraction being dangerous and unstable. We found that if you introduce quantum harmonics at exactly the right frequency, you can stabilize the reaction indefinitely. Unlimited clean energy makes building a fleet much easier. The tactical display updated as the Harvester fleet entered the inner solar system. 12 massive ships, each nearly 5 kilometers long, their hulls writhing with organic technology that defied conventional physics. They moved with absolute confidence, clearly not expecting any meaningful resistance. They're initiating their standard attack pattern, Luminara observed. They'll attempt to establish quantum suppression fields to disable advanced technology, then launch harvester pods to begin collecting neural energy from the population. No civilization has ever successfully resisted once they begin their assault. About those suppression fields, Sarah replied, keying the sequence into her command console. We reverse-engineered the principle from the Mars ruins, found some interesting applications. Throughout the solar system, hundreds of quantum beacon satellites activated simultaneously. The space between the stars lit up with competing fields of energy, creating a complex web of quantum interference patterns. The Harvester fleet's advance suddenly slowed, their formations becoming erratic. You weaponized their own technology against them. Luminara's thoughts carried clear amazement. The quantum interference is disrupting their neural networks. That's not all we weaponized, Sarah responded, entering the final command sequence. Remember how I mentioned those zero-point energy reactors? Turns out they have other applications. The Prometheus's main weapon array came online, revealing technology that made even the advanced Concordiate vessels seem primitive by comparison. Zero-point energy coursed through quantum-enhanced focusing arrays, creating weapons that didn't just damage their targets, they temporarily rewrote the laws of physics in localized areas. All ships, execute battle plan Thermopylae, Sarah ordered, her voice carrying across the quantum command network. Show them why humanity doesn't play by anyone else's rules. The first shots from Earth's fleet tore across space, each blast creating microscopic areas where the fundamental constants of the universe shifted unpredictably. Harvester ships found their advanced armor worse than useless as the space around them warped and twisted, their organic technology unable to adapt to regions where the speed of light itself fluctuated wildly. Fascinating and terrifying, Luminara observed as the battle unfolded. You've achieved things our scientists only theorized. But the Harvesters will adapt. They always do. We're counting on it, Sarah replied, watching as the enemy fleet regrouped, their ships already beginning to evolve countermeasures. That's why this is just phase 1. You see, First Speaker, humanity has a long history of facing supposedly unstoppable enemies. We've learned that the key isn't to match their strength. It's to change the rules of engagement entirely. As if on cue, new signals appeared on the tactical display. Throughout the asteroid belt, thousands of mining drones activated, their industrial cutting lasers modified with quantum modulators. From the outer system, massive solar collection arrays that had been gathering energy for years powered up, preparing to channel unprecedented amounts of power through the quantum beacon network. You're about to witness humanity's real strength, First Speaker, Sarah said, her eyes fixed on the approaching battle. It's not our technology, or our weapons, or even our preparation. It's our absolute refusal to accept defeat, combined with our tendency to turn our enemies' greatest strengths into their ultimate weaknesses. The Harvester fleet pressed forward, their ships morphing and adapting to counter Earth's initial assault. But they were about to learn that humanity had spent years preparing not just one trap, but layers upon layers of increasingly devastating surprises. The real battle for Earth's survival was about to begin, and Admiral Sarah Chen intended to show the galaxy exactly why underestimating humanity was always a fatal mistake. The vacuum of space lit up with impossible energies as the Harvester fleet engaged Earth's defenses in earnest. Dr. Marcus Rodriguez monitored the battle from his position in the Lunar Command Center, his augmented reality display showing real-time analysis of the enemy's adaptation patterns. They're learning faster than we predicted, he announced to the assembled command staff. Their organic technology is reconfiguring to counter our quantum disruption fields, switching to contingency protocol beta. Throughout the solar system, the seemingly chaotic placement of Earth's defensive installations suddenly revealed its true purpose. What had appeared to be random positions of satellites, defense platforms, and modified mining installations formed an intricate geometric pattern, a vast quantum resonance array. Now they'll see why we spent so much time studying crystalline computing, Marcus muttered, initiating the synchronized activation sequence. The Concordiate representatives present watched in stunned silence as thousands of quantum nodes activated simultaneously, creating a cascading wave of energy that rippled through space-time itself. The Harvester's adaptive shielding, designed to protect against conventional weapons, suddenly found itself trying to defend against attacks coming from multiple quantum phases simultaneously. Impossible, one of the Concordiate scientists whispered. You've weaponized quantum superposition at a macro scale. Phase-shifted combat, Marcus confirmed, his fingers dancing across holographic controls. Every weapon impact hits them in multiple quantum states simultaneously. Their adaptive technology can't keep up because they're literally fighting versions of our attacks that exist in parallel quantum states. The tactical display showed 3 harvester vessels succumbing to the assault, their organic hulls unable to adapt to attacks that existed in multiple quantum states at once. But the remaining ships were already beginning to shift their strategy, moving into a formation that the computer identified as a neural linkage pattern. They're combining their processing power, First Speaker Luminara observed, creating a unified quantum field to stabilize their phase space. Marcus smiled. That's exactly what we wanted them to do. Lieutenant Kim, execute Operation Looking Glass. Across the asteroid belt, specially modified mining lasers activated, each one precisely calibrated to a different quantum frequency. As the harvester ships linked their fields, the lasers fired simultaneously, their beams intersecting at carefully calculated points in space. The result was spectacular. Where the laser beams met, space itself seemed to fold, creating quantum mirror points that reflected the harvester's own neural energy back at them. Their linked consciousness, meant to be their strength, became a vulnerability as corrupted neural feedback cascaded through their network. Your species, Luminara communicated, her crystalline form pulsing with intense colors. You've taken principles that took the Concordiate millennia to understand and weaponized them in ways we never imagined possible. Necessity breeds innovation, Marcus responded, watching as the harvester fleet struggled to disengage their neural link. When we found the Mars ruins and learned about the harvesters, we knew conventional warfare wouldn't be enough. So we looked for weaknesses in the very foundations of their technology. The battle continued to unfold across the solar system, a dance of impossible energies and twisted spacetime. Earth's defense fleet moved with precision, executing maneuvers that looked chaotic but served to strengthen the quantum resonance patterns binding the entire system together. But the harvesters weren't finished. Even as their neural network collapsed, their ships began to fragment, each piece transforming into a smaller but still lethal autonomous unit. Thousands of these fragments accelerated toward Earth's defense grid, threatening to overwhelm it through sheer numbers. They're attempting to saturate our quantum field network, a tactical officer reported. Conventional targeting systems can't track that many objects simultaneously. Marcus's expression remained calm as he activated his neural link to the Lunar Command Center's quantum core. That's why we don't rely on conventional targeting. Initialize the Siwarum protocols. Throughout the asteroid belt, millions of modified mining nanites activated, their quantum-linked processors coordinating through the same principles that made human consciousness possible. Earth had taken the harvester's neural energy harvesting technology and reversed it, creating a vast artificial network that could think and adapt as quickly as their organic technology. You see, Marcus explained to the amazed Concordiate observers, the harvester's greatest mistake was assuming that because they were older, they must be wiser. They never considered that a younger species might look at their technology and see possibilities they'd never imagined. The space between Earth and the fragmenting harvester fleet began to glow with billions of tiny points of light, quantum-linked nanites forming into complex geometric patterns that mirrored the neural structure of human thought itself. Earth's response to the harvester's swarm tactics wasn't to fight them conventionally, but to create an artificial ecosystem that could outthink and outadapt their organic technology. Now, Marcus said softly, let's show them what happens when silicon evolution meets organic adaptation in a quantum-accelerated environment. The battle for Earth's survival was about to enter its most crucial phase, and humanity's most ambitious technological gambit was about to be tested against an enemy that had never known defeat. General Maya Patel stood in the heart of Earth's quantum defense grid. Her consciousness merged with the vast network of artificial synapses that connected humanity's military forces. The battle had reached its critical phase, with the harvester swarm engaged in a complex dance with Earth's nanite defenses throughout the inner solar system. Their adaptation rate is increasing exponentially, reported the quantum ad that coordinated Earth's defensive swarm. They're beginning to decode the underlying patterns in our response algorithms. Maya watched through countless sensor feeds as the fragmentary harvester units began to coalesce into new formations, their organic technology spawning countermeasures to Earth's quantum-based attacks. But she smiled, because they were following exactly the path humanity had prepared for them. They think they're learning to predict us, she sub-vocalized through her neural link. Time to show them why that's dangerous. Execute Protocol Prometheus. Throughout the solar system, Earth's defensive grid began to shift. The quantum resonance patterns that had seemed so rigid and mathematical suddenly became fluid organic. The AI-driven swarms of nanites reformed into configurations that mimicked biological systems, while the larger defense platforms began moving in ways that defied traditional tactical logic. First Speaker Luminara, observing through her crystalline sensors, radiated confusion. Your forces, they're adopting completely inefficient formations. The energy expenditure alone is exactly what we want. Maya interrupted. Humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or our preparation. It's our unpredictability. We're giving them exactly what they expect, and that's their doom. The harvester swarm pressed forward, their adaptive algorithms easily predicting the seemingly chaotic movements of Earth's forces. But as they moved to counter these inefficient patterns, something changed. The quantum field surrounding the solar system began to pulse with a new rhythm, one that matched the frequency of human brainwaves during moments of creative insight. You see, Maya explained as the trap began to close, we studied everything we could find about the harvesters. Their entire technological base is built on optimization, on finding the most efficient solution to any problem. But humanity, we evolved through chaos, through trying the impossible simply because no one told us we couldn't. The quantum AI controlling Earth's defenses suddenly shifted its operating parameters, abandoning traditional military logic in favor of patterns based on human creative thought. The nanite swarms began moving in ways that seemed random, even foolish, until those movements suddenly synchronized into devastating attack patterns that the harvester's prediction algorithms couldn't possibly have anticipated. Impossible, one of the Concordiat observers whispered. Your forces are violating basic principles of tactical efficiency. Exactly, Maya confirmed, her consciousness riding the wave of organized chaos that was overwhelming the enemy's defenses. We're not trying to be efficient. We're being human. The battle space erupted with new energy as Earth's forces executed maneuvers that no rational military AI would ever have conceived. Defense platforms fired their weapons in synchronized patterns based on classical music compositions. Nanite swarms formed configurations derived from abstract art. The entire defensive grid began operating on principles drawn from human creativity rather than military doctrine. The harvester's swarm, designed to counter logical, efficient attacks, found itself facing an enemy that deliberately chose suboptimal solutions and somehow turned them into advantages. Their adaptive algorithms, trying to predict Earth's next moves, began to crash as they encountered patterns that violated their fundamental understanding of tactical warfare. Your entire species, Luminara observed with growing amazement. You've weaponized inefficiency itself. You've turned your own chaotic nature into a tactical advantage. Maya's consciousness expanded through the quantum network, feeling the momentum of battle shift as the harvester's swarm began to break apart under the assault of humanity's controlled chaos. We learned long ago that the most powerful weapon isn't the most efficient one. It's the one your enemy never sees coming because they can't imagine anyone would be crazy enough to try it. Throughout the solar system, the harvester fragments began to fail as their prediction algorithms encountered paradox after paradox. Earth's defenders pressed their advantage, their quantum-enhanced weapons guided by patterns drawn from everything from jazz improvisation to children's games. The very unpredictability that other species saw as humanity's weakness had become their greatest strength. And now, Maya announced as she initiated the final phase of humanity's defense, we'll show them why you should never force a species that thrives on chaos to get creative about survival. The quantum grid surrounding Earth pulsed with new energy as humanity prepared to demonstrate just how dangerous imagination could be when backed by advanced technology. The harvesters were about to learn that efficiency meant nothing when faced with a species that had turned unpredictability into an art form. 2 weeks after the battle, the observation deck of the Lunar Command Center hosted an unprecedented gathering. Representatives from 37 spacefaring civilizations had arrived to witness the aftermath of humanity's victory over the supposedly invincible harvesters. Dr. Elena Zhou stood before them, the Earth hanging like a blue jewel in the black sky behind her. The remains of the harvester fleet still orbited the sun, their organic technology now inert and being carefully studied by joint teams of human and alien scientists. But it wasn't the defeated enemy that had brought the galaxy's most powerful civilizations to Earth's doorstep. It was what humanity's victory represented. The quantum patterns your forces used. A crystalline being from the Concordiate Science Council spoke, its form shimmering with intense curiosity. They defied every tactical principle we've developed over millennia. Yet they worked. Elena gestured to the holographic display, showing the battle's final moments. We realized early on that the harvesters' greatest weakness was their own perfection. They'd spent so long optimizing their technology and tactics that they'd lost the ability to comprehend truly random, creative actions. So we built our entire defense strategy around being deliberately unpredictable. The gathered representatives watched as the replay showed Earth's forces executing maneuvers based on everything from dance choreography to weather patterns. A harvester's swarm, unable to find logical patterns to counter, had ultimately torn itself apart trying to adapt to strategies that defied their fundamental understanding of warfare. But the implications go far beyond military applications. Elena continued. The quantum consciousness technology we developed to control our defensive swarms has applications in everything from space exploration to solving the galaxy's energy crisis. We've already begun adapting it to enhance faster-than-light travel. First speaker Luminara stepped forward, her crystalline form pulsing with formal patterns. The Concordiate recognizes that humanity has demonstrated capabilities and insights that we, in our age and supposed wisdom, had thought impossible. We hereby extend an invitation for Earth to join the Galactic Council, not as a junior member, but as a full partner. A murmur ran through the assembled aliens as Elena smiled. We appreciate the offer, first speaker, but Earth has a different proposal. She activated another holographic display, showing a new organization structure that made several representatives pulse with surprise. We're establishing what we call the Innovation Exchange. Any civilization, regardless of their development level, can join and contribute their unique perspectives. You would share such advanced technology freely. A representative from a younger spacefaring race asked, their bioluminescent patterns showing clear disbelief. Not freely, Elena corrected. In exchange for new ideas, new ways of thinking. You see, humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology. It's our ability to look at problems from angles no one else has considered. But we're just one species with one perspective. Imagine what we could achieve if we combined the creative potential of every civilization. The holographic display expanded to show the first project Elena's team had proposed. A galactic defense network based on the principles that had defeated the harvesters, but enhanced by incorporating the unique characteristics of dozens of different species' approaches to problem solving. The harvesters weren't defeated by superior technology alone, Elena explained. They were defeated because they couldn't comprehend approaching problems in non-optimal ways. By combining the perspectives of multiple civilizations, we can create solutions that no single species would ever devise alone. The gathering erupted in discussion as the implications became clear. Humanity wasn't just offering to share technology. They were proposing to fundamentally change how the galaxy's civilizations interacted and evolved. The Innovation Exchange would create a framework where the seemingly illogical approaches of younger species could combine with the advanced technology of older ones, creating possibilities that neither would have discovered alone. There will be other threats, Luminara observed, other challenges that seem insurmountable. Elena's smile widened. Of course there will be. That's exactly why we need to start thinking differently about how we face them. Humanity has learned that the best solutions often come from the most unexpected directions. Now it's time to apply that principle on a galactic scale. As the gathered representatives began pledging their support for the innovation exchange, Elena gazed out at the Earth. Humanity had not only survived its first major galactic crisis, it had emerged as a catalyst for change throughout the galaxy. The age of rigid optimization and predictable solutions was over. A new era of creative collaboration was about to begin, and humanity would help lead the way. After all, she murmured to herself, watching as representatives from ancient and young civilizations alike began forming working groups, the universe is infinite. Why shouldn't our approaches to understanding it be just as unlimited? The stars seemed to shine brighter as humanity took its first steps toward reshaping the galaxy's future, not through force or technological superiority, but through the simple, powerful idea that sometimes the best solution is the one no one else would ever think to try.